Today we are at Tessa and Andrew's home, which is in the Junction in Toronto, Ontario. This was a triplex, so the homeowners were living on the top floor and then renting out the main floor and the basement. But as time evolved and the family grew, they realized that they needed the space for themselves and turned the triplex into a duplex. Aesthetically, the goal for the house was to have nice clean lines, bright finishes, and just have the space feel really open and fresh. While everything's visually nice and clean, it still has that cozy, you want to jump into the bed, cuddle into the sofa kind of feeling. So the entry into the house is an exciting introduction to what you're about to see. Tessa was really into greens, so we did a beautiful emerald green in the mudroom, full height, lots of great color. And then she also wanted to have kind of an old world feel on the floor. So again, we introduced a bit of a more dramatic pattern in a nice black and white, which is great because not only does it look really cool, it's very effective at hiding dirt and grime. Having clothes storage was super important for this space because with having 2 kids and being an active family, they have a lot of stuff. So we wanted to be able to put that stuff away, but then close the door so that you don't see it. Actually, one detail that's in the mudroom that I find very cool, underneath the bench, there is little pull-out drawers. So that's a really great space to be able to pop a pair of gloves. That's a really great way of using the space. Coming around the corner from the mudroom, the space really opens up. The ceilings seem really high, a nice natural sightline right to the back where it opens up into the backyard. It was never a question of whether or not we were going to use Grandma's giant dining table and buffet, but how we were going to fit it in. But we made it work. Not only did we get the large table in, but we hung 2 giant chandeliers over top, which really helps elongate the space and make it feel proportioned. The other thing that we did in the dining room, which I love, is we added wall paneling, but we made it really high. And then I did the reverse. Usually you expect your paneling to be like a dark finish and a light color above, but I switched it. And the goal of that is once you look at the chandeliers, you see that dark band at the top and it really makes them sparkle. Grandma's hutch, we had to find a place for it. We actually carved out some space in the mudroom and the powder room, so I created a niche where we could tuck it back. So it still has a home, but it's not intruding into the space. In the kitchen space, we wanted to use a couple different materials. And one thing that I was concerned about was when you walk in, you get a straight line where you can see the sink and potential dishes. What we did was we built up a bar area. So we've got a casual seating kind of hangout zone, which is elevated so that the clutter in behind is missing. And then we repeated this detail, which waterfalls, on the island as well. It was really important for Tessa to have an island in the kitchen. And I wasn't sure it was gonna fit, to be honest. So we went back and forth, and I gotta give her credit because this island is so perfect for the space. It just looks incredible. There was a very specific list of all the things that needed to be included. So Tessa wanted to make sure that we had full-sized chef's level appliances. We have a lot of built-ins, and also we did custom millwork throughout. We did a clever job of being able to take a relatively narrow space and just pack as much storage as possible. Behind the island, I've actually pushed the cabinets back, so they're not full depth in that area, but there still is storage in behind. You don't want to just have doors and a bunch of sort of blocks. Like I like having open areas. So to achieve that, we added a giant walnut open area with inset lighting. And then again, the walnut's going to repeat. So you're going to see it in the bar area, and you're going to see it back in the built-in in the living room, which we'll get to later. A very important item on Andrew's wish list was to have a desk space. And then again, I wanted to open things up. So in goes a really beautiful wine rack. Continuing with the detail in the kitchen, if you take a look to the left of the desk, Tessa's got all kinds of crafts, she's got wrapping paper, you know, the typical mom stuff. And that stuff takes up a lot of space. So we wanted to be able to give her access to that. So underneath the stairs, if you open it up, we've got hidden storage. The working area of the kitchen can be defined by the white counter. So in that area, we've got a lot of lighter finishes. So we've got a white countertop, and then we tie that in with a nice white backsplash. Tessa picked all of her own materials for the hardware and the lighting in here, and it's totally stunning. She went with a gold that's got more of a matte brushed finish. The hardware just has a beautiful hand to it, like it feels amazing to pull. And then the light fixtures as well, like everything just ties in nicely. Nothing is in your face, but there's a certain level of elegance that, you know, you can just feel when you're in the kitchen. We actually made a pretty big change to the house where there used to be a small window at the back, and we blew it open to add sliding glass doors so that we got a really beautiful sight line, and the entire main floor is one cohesive space. The family room is kind of like a crash pad for the main floor. The whole point is after a busy day, you want to have a comfortable place to be able to sort of land, and that's what we have in the family room. We added a new fireplace into the area because it's really important for Tessa to have almost cottagey feel in the city. And then to bring in the walnut again, we've got two really gorgeous open shelves. I kept the bottom part open so that you can take ottomans and tuck them under. With such a small space, it's hard to entertain large crowds. We wanted to have versatile seating, so by having that area tucked underneath, you can have extra seating that comes out when needed. So we wanted it to feel layered and comfortable, so we've got a lot of off-whites and sort of nubby textures, like things that you just kind of want to rub against your face. You don't want to be, feeling uncomfortable and sitting upright in that room. It's supposed to be loungy and overstuffed, so we've got tons of pillows, tons of fabrics, and all nice light tones so that it just feels really fresh. Just off of the entrance is the diamond in the rough, I guess, although I wouldn't call this house rough, but there's a beautiful powder room. We went really dark, really bold, and we used a dramatic, colorful wallpaper, and if you look, you can find little monkeys every now and then. And then we did all kinds of really fun stuff. We ended up building our own vanity, so we cut some stone into like a very different shape than you'd expect. Tessa actually found the base for that. I think it was $10. And then we ended up making such an interesting standout piece. Originally, the second floor was where the family lived. So we converted the previous family room and kitchen into a suite. So now you walk in and you see this gorgeous king-size bed. We changed the window configuration so that we've got two long vertical windows on either side of the bed. So we get nice natural light, but we can still have that beautiful long headboard without, feng shui issues. If you look across from the bed, there's a really cool gallery wall that's been put together. There's a TV that's hidden in there, so you can watch a movie if you want. Aesthetically, that room is just super layered, super luxe, very light and bright. It's just a beautiful space. For the ensuite, the important detail in there was we wanted to have a double vanity. So we created a massive vanity on the one wall. And again, I did a really cool detail on the backsplash of the stone there. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it's very cool. We went simple on the wall tiles, just nice and white. But on the floor, we had a little bit more fun with a pattern. As smaller kids, Jasper and Harlow had to share rooms, so it was really nice for us to be able to give each one of them their own unique space. Harlow's room is similar to Mom's style, where it's a little eclectic, a little boho, just a nice space to be in. Jasper's room, we went a little bit more bold in the colors. So again, we did like a really cool wall paneling. We went nice and high and very dark. And then he's got Dad's comic collection. So we thought that that band at the top would be a really cool way to display those, showing a little bit of his personality. The main bathroom, because it's mostly the kids' space, we were able to get away with a little bit more bold color choices. So we went with a crazy oversized terrazzo tile, which is super fun. The space I love it. It's weirdly one of my favorite places to be in the house. The washer and dryer used to be hidden in the main bathroom on the second floor, but we decided we wanted that bathroom to just be a bathroom, and we hid the stacked washer and dryer and then a little side cabinet with a sink behind some beautiful slatted doors. So when you're walking down the hall, you don't really notice it, but when those doors are open, you see a really compact but amazing laundry room. So at the end of the hallway, you head up another small set of stairs up to the third floor, which we have basically termed the tween space. We've got two really cute areas where they can just relax and just be themselves and be able to really enjoy their own space. Tessa and I were talking about the whole process of the design, and she laments having it over because we actually had such a great time working together, coming up with all the ideas and playing around with the different options. I'm incredibly proud of the space. I think it's beautiful. I think it's cohesive. I think we've checked off all the boxes, which always makes me proud. There's just a certain level of comfort that I feel when I come into this space, and you can't really put a price on that. So I think it turned out beautifully.